Greetings viewers, EricTheCarGuy here, also known as ETCG1 on this channel, along with my good friend, Cameraman Brian. And here on ETCG1 we like to say, hey, if it is your birthday, happy birthday! So we almost sang it there.
It's pretty good.
Kind of cool. So Brian and I were talking a little bit ago about his minor celebrity. Is that what we're calling this?
It has to be called that, honestly.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you feel is your minor celebrity? How is it manifested in your life?
Well, it hasn't necessarily changed my life in any way, but...
Getting free drinks out of it?
Not yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that.
For those of you out there, if you see Cameraman Brian in a watering hole establishment type place like that...
A fine craft beer always works.
Or bourbon.
I'm very flexible.
Okay, he's flexible.
Yeah.
So anyway, buy Brian a drink if you see him. Make him feel like a celebrity. Anyway, okay. Moving on.
Yes. Oh, basically, when we were talking about it,
yeah.
and it actually is sort of a reality. It has happened, and it happens through you, of course. It wouldn't happen on my own. I'm behind the camera all the time.
Well, yeah, how long? And you've been doing it?
Let's just say 25 years.
Okay, so in 25 years, you haven't had people come up to you and say, "Hey, man, nice camera work on."
No, ever. No, that doesn't happen. Now, people in the business may say, "Hey, that's a really good piece you did on whatever," or saw that show you worked on for ESPN or whatever it was, but never just random people coming up to you and saying, you know, friends know I'm working on a project, but that's different. Out of the blue, unsolicited, without knowledge, people coming up to me at the meetup. That's specifically what I was
going to bring that up because that's where it really.
It was in my face. It was unavoidable. It was like I thought I was sort of a liaison to you. I would talk to some people, shoot video of them, or try to shoot video of them, and I was basically figure, okay, I'll talk to him for a minute, you know, to, I guess, be a liaison, as I said, to you. I thought they wanted to talk to you. Obviously, everyone comes to talk to you. And
not everyone.
But they would stop me and say, like your work, really like your input or a comment that you made that may make the cut. When we're bantering at some point, say something
Yeah, there's
funny.
a lot more banter that doesn't make the cut.
Right.
There's a lot more banter that's not appropriate for the cut.
Indeed that. Indeed that. And yeah, we'll keep it that way, I think.
Yeah, we'll keep it that way for sure. It's a family show.
It is, and some of it makes the cut, and people comment on that and like that exchange, and then, but yeah, just the fact that they took their time at the meetup to specifically come up to me and say, like what you do, you and Eric, and you know, blah blah blah. And obviously, he does a good job. But to be part of that, I feel like I'm part of something.
And that was always, you know, part of my design and my pitch to you to get you to work for me because you started out very kind to me early on, and I appreciated that. Well, I needed because I mean, it reached a point. And you were comparing me in one of the earlier videos that we did together like this to Les Stroud.
Oh, the videos before, yeah. Les Stroud, the guy, the Survivor Man.
Survivor Man. He's out in the wilderness setting up these cameras and everything by himself doing this stuff, like walks away from the camera so they can walk to the camera. I mean, it's an enormous amount of work when you're trying to do something like this yourself. Anybody that's trying to make any kind of YouTube videos, particularly auto repair, I will say. Yeah. It is very challenging in that regard, and I just reached a point where I wanted to do more things, and I just simply didn't have the time. And a resource like Brian, having a cameraman there that was, I don't want to call you a human tripod because you're far from that.
Yeah.
But just
at times that's
at times, you know, but just having somebody that could, you know, quickly move around and follow me around and allow me to continue to work. And that's the thing, you know, work for a couple of seconds, stop, move the camera, make sure that works. Not to mention you having an ear on the audio all the time is extremely helpful. So Brian has become an invaluable resource.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, well, and just as far as a cameraman. Now, we crossed over at some point and put you not only in front of the camera, but I don't know if it was the banter behind the camera. I know I've always given you credit at the end of the videos that you've shot, just so that it's out there. Yeah. that's one of the things. But I mean, was that something that, I know it's something you felt comfortable with. I mean, it's too late now, but
right.
I mean, you sort of, you broke that wall.
I honestly don't know how that happened. It could have been that, I was worried that you did such a good job with the one-man, production unit that you were, as far as setting up your own shots. I was worried at the beginning that the people would say, "Oh, it's not the same,"
It isn't.
It isn't, but they were, they appreciated it. They're like, "Wow, okay, it looks different. It's not the same, but we like it." So that was encouraging. You shared those comments with me, and yeah, I'm not sure where it crossed over. Maybe it was the first ETCG one.
Probably. But Brian and I actually have known each other for a very long time before we started working together.
Yeah.
So we've had, if not an acquaintance, if not a friendship, at least an acquaintance up to that point. I would say it's grown into friendship since then, since we've worked together and we've,
so
gone
many
all these places.
experiences,
So many experiences that we've had together as a result of doing this.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to have a relationship with your crew. It's another thing to put your crew, so to speak, in front of a camera. And some aren't really capable. Some don't really pull it off. People like you. I think people like you. I like you.
Well, there's a reason I spent 25 years behind the camera.
Oddly enough, I never wanted to be in front of the camera either. I was always more comfortable behind the camera. So, because I could tweak my little knobs and buttons and all that kind of stuff. And, working on cars was the same thing. I thought it would be cool to showcase those kinds of things, but, I kind of opened Pandora's box when I started doing auto repair videos.
We sort of did that with me, apparently.
Yes.
There's a little, not a big giant Pandora's box, but a little one nonetheless. And you would because I'm not on. I look at the videos. I peruse the website regularly, but I just peruse it to see which videos are, because we shoot months in advance and kind of where we're at, and I like to see what the responses are in numbers, like what you guys like, and that's obvious through the numbers of views. And then there's the comments, and that's, you would say, "Hey man, what was it? Spark plugs out in Denver with the 4Runner. That one."
Yeah, that was social media.
Social media.
That was a social
okay.
media post I did
There's
that you shared
possibly
with me.
another avenue.
You were like, through watching you and shooting with you, I've basically figured out that this was what the problem is, and this is the premise of the story. He's out in Colorado. He's got a miss in his check engine light or something like that.
On 4th of July, no shops are open, nothing's open, and I'm halfway through a car-oriented, meaning drove out to Colorado, drove all around Colorado, and needed to 5 more days, out of the vehicle in order to finish the vacation, and there was just no help other than the O'Reilly Auto Parts that hooked me up with tools and stuff, and figured out it was a spark plug. And in an 8-cylinder engine, you have to switch all 8 of them. That was fun.
Well, 4 are easy on that engine, if I recall, and 4 are just a nightmare.
Yeah, one side's okay.
Like one side, yeah, it's a Toyota 4Runner, what was it, 2005
V8, yeah.
So it was a 2005, it was a V8 Toyota.
And what's funny is they recommend, replacing those at every 100,000 miles. I had like 100,000 and maybe 30 when that blew.
Yeah, those new spark plugs are no joke. I mean, they're super expensive. They set you back, I'm
sure.
They
said at 100,000 and they meant it. It was like to the mile. I'm like,
And it's like, we figured this out.
He saved my vacation, essentially. But yeah, that social media thing, there was a lot of comments on that. Way to go, Brian, and that kind of thing. Good job, and lots of other comments as well. But yeah, it's sort of it's almost inevitable, it seemed, that it would be coming into the fold. As far as what
your
you do,
minor celebrity
what you
thing?
do, and the fact that you weren't adverse to the idea of, an on-camera presence as well, an inclusion, I suppose.
Well, and this is the way I look at it. I mean, my videos were always geared towards helping people, and in essence, we've been helping each other. So, and then our friendship has grown from that. And to me, I don't really feel the need to carry the spotlight all the time. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, I was also more comfortable behind the camera than in front of the camera. Over the years, though, that's changed. But still, it's like it was a transition for me, and I don't really see it as I was always after celebrity. So, having somebody else there who comes on camera as a friend and we hang out and we have conversations or something like that, and the fans seem to not mind.
Yeah.
They haven't said, get that guy out of there or any of that. It's like, what are you doing, Eric? They haven't done any of that. They've been very appreciative of the contribution that you've made to the videos themselves.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm totally happy with you being here. I just in some ways feel bad about possibly putting you in a position that was slightly uncomfortable, because I know when I first started feeling the celebrity of Eric the Car Guy, it was a little off-putting just because I wasn't used to it. I mean, it was just, you know, as a quote-unquote everyday person, you go to the store, you order a pizza, and the delivery guy comes to the door, and you know, you pay them the money and they go away. You don't expect them to be like, holy crap, you're Eric the Car Guy, or holy cow, you're Cameraman Brian, aren't you?
That has not happened.
I'm just saying, all right. But
that would
you're not,
and
that changes your perspective on a lot of things, you know. And you realize, to me, what it was is I realized my responsibility to the fans at that point, even more so. You know, I was always, you know, having it in the back of my mind how people saw me and perceived me, but then when it's right in your face,
it breaks through that barrier.
Yeah.
When somebody, when it's again, an unsolicited approach, they see you, they recognize you, and then approach you, that wall that you may be there because of that reluctance to celebrity, it's gone now. You have to acknowledge it, kind of.
Yeah, I do. But the thing of it is the core of what the message that I've always tried to have is helping people. Yeah. And, you know, as long as I'm doing that, if that's what I'm known for as the quote-unquote celebrity, I'm down with that.
Yeah, that's a good moniker to have if you are a celebrity.
Right, if you're a celebrity for other things.
Right. Yeah, there's other things that wouldn't recommend being a celebrity for.
Exactly,
so,
but you know, it just depends.
Yeah, but the day someone says, Cameraman Brian in the grocery store, I'll fall over. That would just crack me up. That would really would. And who knows? It could happen, but
I think it should happen.
And, but thank you for the comments. Apparently, you guys notice when I'm not around, I do a lot of other work, and Eric is very understanding of that.
This isn't his only gig, and we both have to work around each other. You know, and we both have that understanding also. So it's not
good.
like
as long as we communicate.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like any relationship.
Exactly.
Pretty true. But apparently, you guys notice when I'm not around, and it warms my heart. That's actually, apparently I'm doing something okay.
Honestly, you do good work. You know, and it shows. Well, and I think you should definitely be proud of that.
I try. I very much try.
Do you have a good or bad on Minor Celebrity, or what are your final thoughts?
I'm totally okay. It was funny at the meetup. I was just trying to shoot video, tell the story. It's what I do, and I ended up having conversations with a lot of people that showed up, and I very much enjoyed that. And I tried not to shortchange the video, but it kind of warms that little part of your heart, like that they would take the time to do that.
Yeah, anytime somebody comes to me and says what you've done has had a positive effect on me, on my life, I'm overwhelmed. And that's not the reason I do the meetups, is to thank you, the fans. Not necessarily for you to come and thank me, but that's what often happens. In fact, so much so, in the last meetup, there was no way I could talk to everybody. It's completely and totally overwhelmed.
It went out. It's off the charts.
Yeah, it was. In fact, I'm rethinking the whole concept of the meetup right now because of that. Because it seemed to me, you know, if somebody's going to take the time and effort to travel far and wide to come and meet me in person, I want to do everything possible to be there for them. But if I'm not, because there's too many people there, that becomes, you know, sort of counterproductive.
And obviously that is due to your celebrity.
We'll call it that.
Air compressor's on. Well, ask me good or bad on celebrity again.
No, we can leave that in.
Oh, let's leave that in.
We'll acknowledge. Because that was like almost like it was on cue, right?
It was
a
right,
moment.
right in a breath.
Yeah. Yeah, we're leaving the compressor thing in.
Sure.
Because that was a surprise to all
he
of
edits
us.
it.
Yeah, I can. If I don't like it, it goes away.
If he likes it, it stays.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, I spend all the time like piecing together all the stuff that you do.
So you know.
I know.
He knows when I screw up.
And I
that
jump on my
happens.
text. Brian,
Brian!
Brian.
What were you thinking?
Why, Brian, why?
He doesn't have to do that. I hear it in my head, and it's like, oh,
Why did
no.
you show my fat butt?
Can't help it.
I
Cracks
can't.
hanging
It's
out.
everywhere. I mean, it's 3,000 square feet. It barely fits.
It's great. It's fun. I've been around media enough on the grand scale, in the large format sporting events, and shot live sports and all that kind of stuff. So I get it, and it's fun. It's fun on this level, and it feels good to be appreciated. It really does, because it doesn't happen a lot.
Well, I appreciate you.
Well, I know that.
Always have.
Yeah.
No, I love you. Always have.
Aw. You're gonna make me cry.
And with that, we'll wrap it up with Brian going off to whimper in the corner. If you have automotive questions, don't wait for the corner. If you have automotive questions, head over to EricTheCarGuy.com. I'll link that down in the description, along with any other videos with Cameraman Brian that if you wish to explore his personality further. He's a nice guy. It's cool to listen to. Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you wish to connect with me socially, you can find Brian at your local watering hole. Please buy him lots of beverages. I don't pay him that much. Close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, stay dirty. See you next time.
See you next time.